Do you sometimes have the feeling you can't stay focused when you're trying to be productive at home? I had the same problem, and then I found the Pomodoro Method. Hi, my name is Luke and welcome to the Healthy with Luke channel. In today's film, I would like to show you how the Pomodoro Method works and why it's so beneficial for every kind of task you want to complete. The Pomodoro Method will be very effective for you if you find distractions during a workday, can't find the point of optimal productivity, like to set goals and reach them fast, or get overwhelmed with complex projects, and if you like tomatoes. Pomodoro means tomato in Italian and describes that you should start thinking in tomatoes, not in hours. But what does that mean and how does it work? First, pick a task and write it down on a piece of paper. Second, set yourself a 25-minute timer on your smartphone and turn airplane mode on. Third, you want to work on that task for 25 minutes. And fourth, when time is up, write your last idea onto a piece of paper so you know where to start within the next circle. And fifth, take a 5-minute break and continue working for another 25 minutes. And sixth, repeat this process 4 times and then take a break of 15 to 30 minutes. But why is this method exactly so effective for millions of people around the world? Let me explain. You'll fight procrastination as you only have to do something for 25 minutes and achieve a goal, namely completing a task faster than usual. And you'll be hyper-focused on this one thing and don't get lost in the huge amount of work you have to do. Further, time suddenly gets very concrete. You don't see time as a negative anymore, but rather as effort, as a piece of work. And lastly, it's so much easier to ignore or fight distractions for 25-minute sessions than for 1-hour sessions. But why is this method so different to our normal goal-setting methods? When you use this method, you suddenly have a clear measurement and understanding of your time in regards to your effort, which makes your planning extremely accurate and efficient. Let me explain you why. If you start planning your day with projects, you can't be sure that you complete them. Why? Because a project isn't something concrete. A project can take 10 minutes or can take 10 hours. But if you start planning in Pomodoros, you have a finite concrete time, which you can then start to fill with projects. Here's how I structure a random Pomodoro day when building my brand and still being a student from home, just to give you an example how you could do it. Doing absolutely nothing is definitely In the morning, I usually read or write my book. From 8 to 9, I have 2 Pomodoros, so 60-minute YouTube work. I then have breakfast, 30 to 40 minutes, and from 10 to 12 I have 4 Pomodoros, which means 120 minutes for YouTube. I then have university and lunch, and from 3 to 4 o'clock another 60 minutes YouTube, 2 Pomodoros. And for the rest of the day, I like to have a free structure. Sometimes I also continue working in Pomodoros, but sometimes I also work with my normal schedule. And although this method is great, there are a few traps which you should avoid. First, if the timer rings, write down your last thoughts and then stop. As good as your workflow might be in that moment, it's time for a break. This is very crucial. Second, use your break efficiently. I like to write down all the things which came into my mind during the 25 minutes, which normally would be distractions, and then come back to them in my break. As an example, if I have to text someone or look something up on the internet. And third, if you finish earlier with your task, try to do something which is beneficial to the entire process, such as reading related blog posts or a book. But how do you actually cope with distractions if they turn up? If the distraction occurs past the 15-minute mark, take the 5-minute break and then start a new cycle after. If it occurs before, stop the timer and continue after distractions. A practical way to plan your Pomodoros is to use the app to-do list. First, set the Pomodoros you have available for that day. If you can work 8 hours netto, you can fill 32 Pomodoros with projects and a 1.5-hour break. Then write down your project in the app and align the amount of Pomodoros you assume they need behind the task. But if you've planned your Pomodoros, how do you use your break really efficiently? I personally find it important to do something in a break which doesn't mean sitting and doesn't mean looking at your screen. Tidy up your room, water your houseplants, clean your kitchen, or bring the bin outside. Even closing your eyes and doing absolutely nothing is definitely and totally acceptable. And if you realize that your task takes longer than 25 minutes, adjust the time to your preferences. 50-minute focus and 7-minute break, or 90-minute focus and 30-minute break are also very popular variations as well, but I very personally like to stick with 25 and 5. If you have further questions, please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I really appreciate that you took your time for watching the video. And as always, I'll see you next week for next week's video. Stay healthy with Luke.